Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything, everything. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
So there's a question I ask all my guests on this talk, these live talks. What's your perspective and your views on the WBBL in this country and the BBL? Things that you see that are working and things you think that can be improved?
I think there obviously is a gap in terms of like exposure for women's and men's. Like I think they do a lot more for the men's compared to women's. Um, what I feel like is working, like social media, I think this era and generation is like it's the best tool for everything because so many people are active and on these different platforms. There's so many different ways to brand yourself. So I think that in a sense is working. There's so many of like yourself, like Hooper's Voice. There's like BBL Fix. I think that promote, and I've even seen them start like putting highlights of women because at first I think it was more like men's highlights on these pages. Whereas now they actually put highlights of women. So I think that stuff is good because you're promoting and making people more aware that there is a women's team. What I think they could do more, I don't know, you know. I don't know. Because it's hard. You want to say, I could say exposure, but it's like there's so many different ways and different things that could be done. But I think it's hard because everyone is, I think people are trying their best and there's monetary things, you know, like financial.
That's a big one.
That would weigh into like what people can and can't do. So I think it just depends. I think just more exposure to things will be good. Like if they did tournaments that were with men and women, WBBL and BBL, and then bring a crowd. But if it was like a small tournament at the start of the season, I think that would be good just to introduce people to, you know, that these leagues are about to start and these are the teams that you should be like, you know, looking out for. Where and at those events they could hand out like schedules for the season. I think facilities for women's basketball needs to be a bit better because the men's is like they do up like the banners, they have, you know, these nice facilities, whereas when you come to women's games it's like more times the gyms are like shared with like other like sports. They're not as nice, there's not, you know, as nice of a setup compared to men's. Like even on some teams where there's men's and women's teams, like for example like Leicester, not in a bad way, they do their gym up nice, but it's like the women's don't play in the men's facility. But why?
It should be like that. I do agree. It should be like that.
So it's like those types of questions I feel like okay need to be asked, and like why can't the women's play in, like why are they not playing in the same gym as the men?
100%.
Like, why are they not getting the same crowds, and what can we do to, you know, change that?
And it does hurt a bit because it's like women have had kind of a bit more of a success than the men in terms of like Commonwealth games. They won the silver medal when they come back with anything. So it should be a bit more respect for the women and should treat them like professionals because they are professional. People think because they're women just playing basketball. No, they are professional.
They don't respect it as much, but
because I think I had a talk with Naomi and they were saying one time how they were trying to advertise the women's game as a warm-up game to the men's.
Yeah, but even like, Sheffield's another one. Like the women's play in a gym that doesn't even have Wi-Fi, I think, you know. But it's like the men's have a facility that is nice where the women, but it's like why are they not playing there? So it's just like that stuff. That's where the gap is. It's like you're already showing your value of the game by where you let them play. When you have a facility that's nicer, you know, you can fit more crowds, you can advertise it, but it's like why are you not doing it? So it's like if you don't have respect for it, like people following won't as well. So I think there needs to be a like, you know, maybe a talk about why and where women can play that's like in better facilities, because then people would want to come to a game, but it's like why would you come to a game when it's in a gym that's like small, there's not really much going, like, you know, it's not as nice. Then you go to a men's game and it's like in London Lions Arena, where do they play? Cobblebox. It's
Couple box, yeah. And I
You're gonna,
don't get why would they not
yeah,
let the women play there as well. I don't get that, but
yeah. So it's like, yeah, those things, you know, they need to change.
okay, cool. And,
Everything, everything, everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything, everything Chris.